It's Thursday. We're on Matthew 6, so the second chapter of the Sermon on the Mount. And again, I would challenge you to give this a read through it, and to, even if you have time, to read all three chapters of 5, 6, and 7 to get a good idea of the flow of the entire sermon. And we wrapped up chapter 5 yesterday, and Jesus is making it clear that his kingdom he is bringing in is totally different. That how the world looks at things and how he looks at things are different. And then sharing, about anger, and the definition of anger is a bigger deal. Lust, that it's not just adultery, it's looking at someone with lust. That divorce, oaths, retaliation, loving your enemy. It was, everything, the expectation is greater. So, and then goes into chapter 6, and the whole focus now kind of turns to it's a heart attitude. That warning against, we see, don't do as the hypocrites do. And a hypocrite at the time would have been an actor, with somebody that wore a mask. So they were trying to be something different on the outside than they were on the inside. And Jesus warns against this over and over, that when you give, don't give for the public to see. Don't pray for the public to see how you pray. Don't fast in the same regard. That don't do it to be seen. Do it as a heart attitude. And then this laying up treasures in heaven, that our focus needs to be in heaven and be on the eternal. And for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And that's a great verse for us to think about. Where is your treasure? Is it, I've heard somebody say once, can I look at your checkbook and see that you are a follower of Jesus? Can I look at your calendar and see that you are a follower of Jesus? Can I look at what you focus on? And truly, what you do focus on, that your heart is in alignment with that. So it speaks of the importance of being generous, and of giving your resources to the kingdom, and then your heart will follow. And I think of things I've been involved with through the years. Obviously very involved with football. And many years ago, I was really into fantasy baseball. And this is 25 years ago. And I could have told you every player on every team. But it was where I focused my time. I had an investment in my fantasy baseball team. It was over the top, frankly. But it showed me where my treasure was, what I focused on, what I focused my resources, what I focused my time, my talents. My heart followed, and I loved fantasy baseball. So I think Jesus is just warning that, hey, we need to focus on the kingdom as opposed to things that don't matter. And then the call not to be anxious about our stuff, about our clothing, about our resources, that God will take care of us. Seek first, in verse 33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added unto you. So it reminds me of the Lord's Prayer, that give us this day our daily bread. And God promises us to meet our need, and that our needs don't always, sometimes are what we think we need, and what God thinks we need are totally different things. But he promises to meet our needs, not our wants. And again, the challenge, seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. And the call not to worry, not to be anxious about what's going to happen tomorrow, and to live each day. Give us this day our daily bread. So I hope you're reading this. Like I said yesterday, probably the most famous sermon in the history of man, the Sermon on the Mount, and there's so much here, and we'll conclude the Sermon on the Mount tomorrow. Think about Holy Week. Today would be Maundy, Thursday, and the day that Jesus had his Last Supper with the disciples and had communion, washed their feet, had communion, and went out to pray, and is betrayed by Judas. So a big day in the life of the church as we look to Good Friday with Jesus's beating and death and burial, but we look ahead knowing the end of the story, knowing the future resurrection that we will celebrate on Sunday. So have a great day. Remember, Jesus wants your heart, and to focus on the kingdom, and everything else will be added on to you. So we will see you on here tomorrow. God bless you. Have a great day.